me? Okay. No should be fine. Can you hear me now, guys? Thumbs up if you hear me. I will make sound little bit. Okay, cool. Finally. Seems that everything is working. Perfect, great. Thank you for confirmation. Yeah, new Max, that's sure. I don't know why we had those AirPods and Apple Music on beginning of the event. Oh, Joe Martin. Hello, hello. Nice to see you on stream as well. So, okay, let me see if I switch. Yeah, I can switch screens. Perfect. I guess this was my event of the day, right? New AirPods. Who excited about that? I don't know why the event included that in event, but yeah. So that was cool, but I like this graph. That looks so cool. I'm currently using M1 MacBook and it works just fine, but that M1 Pro and M1 Max performance seems crazy. I don't know. Let me know what you guys thinking. Are you getting to buy one? I know that I should not buy because M1 is kind of okay, but I really would like to get one, so probably I will get it. I have plenty of excuses, so of course I need one. That is just necessary to have one for tests, right? Yeah, that's what I'm telling myself. Yeah, I definitely need one for tests. Who is going to buy one? 14-inch. Yeah, and I think that the big question will be which one to get as well, because I kind of compared those. Did you put those side by side? I did it. Basically, yeah, there is that poor M1 MacBook Pro and 14-inch and 16-inch, and basically they are exactly the same. Screen size, of course. Screen size is a big difference. So, yeah. But one good thing is that all of them starting from 16 gigabytes of RAM. So I'm sad for Rafael. So Evergreen Video 8 gigabytes of RAM or 16 gigabytes of RAM, that will be not needed this year. But yeah, we will have 16 gigabytes versus 32 gigabytes of RAM question for sure. For sure. Okay, let me catch up. Can we bring comments here? Let me check. Okay. 16-inch. Oh. Yeah, that is one thing that I'm missing when I'm not using Ecamm Live. That is, I can't bring really comments. Let me check. Give me a moment. Yeah, it is dark, but I'm here. One moment, please. I will try to fix that comment pop-up. Okay, yeah, that is back, and yep, kind of works. Cool. So, let me check what you are thinking. Yeah, new M Max, that's always cool. That's always cool. What's happened with color spectrum on my PC? Ah, do you mean those lights? I just switch it to red. Yeah, I am thinking about... Actually, I'm thinking about 14-inch MacBook Pro for myself as well. John Martin, nice to see you here. Oh, Kirill, you are still on 16-inch. Yeah, 16-inch was great machine. I really love it, but mine was in repair twice because of overheating, and I'm looking forward maybe to get 16-inch MacBook Pro as well. Yeah. Oh, John Martin already ordered 14-inch. That's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah. I believe Rafael is going max out 64 gigabytes of RAM and that Pro Max. Yeah, but Rafael Ludwig is video, all in video, and definitely he needs latest and greatest. That is kind of a question to discuss as well. Hey, Latvia, okay, yeah, Latvia. Finland, nice. Morocco, oh, plenty of people around here. New Mac Mini, we don't have new Mac Mini yet. Yeah. Whoa, real heroes are still on 2015 MacBook Pro. That's cool. India, hello. So, yeah. Let me open that screen again. So, what I am looking for, I was looking on, basically, I'm looking in German Apple side because those prices are in Europe and that is what I will get. Lucky you who are in US and getting prices in dollars, but I have to pay euros. And basically this upgrade, if we will go, I was checking. I personally thinking that for programming, M1 Pro is enough. You don't need that max. And only thing which looks worth upgrading is 32 gigabytes of RAM. But that price tag, as always, those are $400 in US, but in Europe those are 460 euros. So yeah, that's kind of high price tag. And I'm thinking now that price tag looks 2,700. That is about the same what I paid for 16-inch MacBook Pro. How many? Almost 2.5 years ago, yeah. And that what I most likely need for 14-inch MacBook Pro. 16 gigabytes of RAM is kind of enough today, but you know, if you are looking to use that machine for few years ahead, so better get 32 gigabytes. That's my thinking about. And yeah, that question about 14 versus 16 gigabytes of RAM for programming, that depends how often you are going to use this screen. Maybe 14 inches good enough for you, and if you are traveling more than it is possible today, then 14-inch is nice size. And actually, comparing that size, that 14-inch, let me check my notes. Yeah, that 14-inch MacBook Pro actually has more size on the screen than current 16-inch MacBook Pro. So if your eyes are good, yeah, then that will be fine. Yeah, that's true. If you are switching from Intel to that M1 or M1 Pro or M1 Max, yeah, heating problem, yeah, that will be. I'm kind of curious how M1 works for Rust, for example, programming. Don't know, yeah. New Macs are a little bit more heavy, I would say. I compared that as well. Where is that comparing sheet? This one, yeah. Weight difference is quite significant, and here it is. 2.1 kilo versus 1.6 kilo. 14 inches, 1.6. That's quite a lot. That's half of the kilo. So when I am traveling, my biggest pain point is camera gear. So if you are using bulky and heavy lenses, those are can be about half of the kilo one lens easily. So yeah, that's why I'm looking on that 14-inch MacBook, because from power perspective, they can be the same. I'm not looking for maxed out configuration anyways. That is too pricey and I do not need that power. But if you are looking base models, base 14-inch, not base, let's say, add some RAM and so on, then computer power is about the same. And Apple even driving in their graph that M1 Pro, M1 Max are kind of about the same. Hey. Yeah, finally, Vigo Krumich. Finally, Intel-based MacBooks are discontinued. That's true. I was expected that we will see new MacBook Airs as well, but that is too much asked. So, and of course, they are just sorts out that there is no M2 processor, there is M1 something processor. Yeah, I will think about it, and I am thinking that I am getting that 14-inch MacBook Pro. I did some screenshots during presentation. I do not mind new keyboard, but I also was one of those rare users who didn't mind to have that, how it's named, touch bar, yeah, as well. I was kind of okay with that. Didn't have problems with it. Okay. So probably that will be 14-inch for me. I didn't decide yet, but 99% I'm getting one, and I like this picture. All the screens connected. That's kind of cool. I do not need so many, but I kind of had to recognize that one screen is not enough. So yeah. Totally agree. This looks like perfect development machine for me as well. I'm not sure about that. That 1 terabyte. If you are only developer, so 512 size is good enough. 32 gigabytes for future, to be future proof, let's say so. I would go as well with 32 gigabytes. I kind of agree with this point, yeah. That sounds something that I would kind of recommend. Yeah. MX Pro and 16 versus 13. Yeah. That's question, totally about RAM. Yeah, that notch, I can't say I like it, but that notch is kind of in that top bar inside it, so I'm kind of okay with it, let's say so. So yeah, I do not mind that notch. Oh, we have Ukraine on the radar. Hello. It comes with Monterey. They didn't mention that because I guess that was kind of slippery question because we don't have release date for Monterey. But in slides, let me check. There was something about Monterey. Here we have, on this slide, we have Monterey. So basically it comes with it. And it's kind of strange. Seems that the fastest way to get Monterey is together with new MacBook. Because MacBooks will be available, they say that pre-order is today and they will be available tomorrow or shipped out tomorrow, whatever. Anyways, they are already in stock with installed Monterey. So that's kind of strange. Yeah, because we don't have Monterey released yet. And yeah, that is not big sur. Yeah, by the way, M1 is still a really great machine for development. I personally do not see any problems working on my day-to-day tasks. Video editing for my small YouTube channel works just fine. Photo editing for my Instagram, whatever, family photos works just fine. Programming tasks, I do not see any blockers. Machine is fast and so on. Only problem when I really see myself blocked is streaming. Currently I'm streaming from PC and sharing my Mac screen to PC and so on, and that makes all of that little bit kind of clunky. So I would like to upgrade machine for streaming needs, then I will be able to stream from Mac, and that will be way more easier, because that PC once in a while, once in 2 weeks, just I don't know, just dies during the stream or whatever I'm doing, and I have to restart it. That's not really nice. Which CPU I am going for? Basically, I'm going with Pro, because if we compare difference, there was a slide about difference between CPUs. Difference is supported screens. If you like to get that monster of screens, where it was, this one. This connection amount of supported screens is available only with Max CPU, and with Pro you have 2 display support. That is more than enough for me. And all the other power Max, that will be more for video editors and so on, I believe. Yes, some 3D rendering, all of that stuff. For programming, I do not see that I need that Max. And 2 screens feels kind of enough for me. There was... I lost that slide already. There was comparing for processors as well. Probably here. Or not. Okay, I will not found it on the go, but there was comparing page for processors as well. Yeah. Maybe here. Let's check. Probably here. Ah, here it is, yeah. So faster memory, this one is up to 200, this one up to 400, and RAM, 44 gigabytes of RAM or 32 gigabytes of RAM. I'm not going to get 32. Yeah, of course, GPU cores as well. Yeah. That's for sure. But yeah, for my day-to-day job, even considering that I am kind of video creator with this YouTube channel, I do not need that power. So probably no. That's kind of too expensive. Not, let's say so, not too expensive. It is wise to invest in your tools if you're really using them. But my revenue is generated from programming, and for programming that is not needed. Yeah, let's say so. Yeah, exactly. 6,000 for maximum configuration. That's kind of too much. Yeah, new screen is better. That is kind of confusing, and I'm looking on that new screen, all what is delivered in that new screen, and I frankly don't know how I will use that with my current monitors and all of that stuff, because this screen is that HDR, liquid retina display, and so on, 100 megahertz refresh rate, and it's very bright, and I'm using 250 nits screen. That's kind of next to MacBook Pro display, my 32-inch monitor will look miserable. So that's kind of, I don't know. Okay, Monterey will be released on October 25. Okay, I didn't saw that, but yeah, probably. Yeah, I agree with Vigo's comment that, yeah, It's really Pro Mac finally, yeah. Okay, I missed this point, but yeah, so Monterey will be on next week. Cool. Yeah, question. We got new GPU, but where we have games. Yeah, games are for PC, and probably that will be good use for my PC, yeah. Okay, no one is using, yeah, and no one is using Max for gaming, that's right. So yes, I'm using Final Cut Pro for video editing, and I'm using M1 for video editing. Hackintosh is, that depends on footage. Rafael Ludwig in chat has quite a few videos about video editing, M1 Max and so on. And he's using different cameras than I. And he had horrible experience editing on M1 MacBook. And because he's using cinema cameras and there are different codecs and so on, so our kind of impressions from that can be different. I am using Canon EOS R camera, and I am recording everything in log and editing on M1 MacBook Pro without problems. And I do not see big difference. Let's say I do not see, yeah, there is no difference between Hackintosh with i9 32 gigabytes of RAM and RX 5700 XT GPU and M1. Editing is smooth on both, and I'm adding color grading, some layers, I don't know, whatever, everything, and works fine. And on this M1 Pro, that Final Cut Pro will just fly. Okay, so yeah, price. Yeah, I agree. If you use it to make money, buy it. I totally agree. Because yeah, my M1 MacBook also is kind of money printing machine, because I'm programming on it, I'm editing videos, I'm doing everything. Basically, that is all my work is here. Basically, I could invest less in anything, whatever I have around. I don't know, desk table, lamp, I don't know, camera, microphone. Anything else could be more crappy, but Mac should be good. And I just think that for programming, anyways, you should buy gear which is good enough. You should not save on gear to, I don't know, buy cheaper, but for programming. M1 Max, for my tasks, for iOS app development, kind of not needed. But I totally agree that Rafael as video editor should buy most powerful machine from Max. Totally agree. Yeah, in Europe, prices are kind of different, way more pricey. Yeah, and that is never-ending question when we will have games on Max. Just play games on console or or on Windows. That will be so for a while. Okay. Hello. We are in the middle of this discussion about which Mac is the best. So I kind of like this slide. Everything looks really nice, and even finally we got FaceTime camera update. Yeah, that's cool. So my choice probably will be, we'll see. I guess that we will need, here in Latvia, we will need to wait, I don't know, for many months to get special configurations. By special configuration, I mean 32 gigabytes of RAM. So maybe I will get base configuration for that reason, to be able, first of all, to get it at least few months faster, because I had wait a lot longer while I got my M1 MacBook with 16 gigabytes of RAM. And also, currently 16 gigabytes of RAM are enough. And I think that I will not hold my gear for 4-5 years anymore. I did that with I did that with 2015 MacBook Pro. I used it for almost 6 years, and that was way too much. I should upgrade faster because Gear slowed me down. New napkin for monitor. No, Kirill, I didn't saw it. Long time no see. I'm streaming almost daily on Twitch currently, by the way, but that is kind of behind the scenes of programming. But yeah, I'm still going live here on YouTube just to talk about some more specific questions. Yeah, actually I heard also that M1 was decent for gaming, but I frankly didn't try to play any games because I have Windows PC and I don't even play so often on it. MagSafe came back is kind of funny, but that's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of okay to have it, and I'm happy that you still can use USB-C to charge. That's cool. Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, yeah, everyone's talking about M1 Pro versus M1 Max, which one is the best for programming, but I have to say that M1 is still good enough. M1 today is good choice, and what we have price-wise, let me check really quick. So, if you are looking on prices, I'm looking on prices here in Europe, so 13-inch is from 1,500. That is 8 GB of RAM. That is not kind of enough. With 16 GB of RAM, that will be a bit more expensive, about 1,800, something like that. 14-inch, 200, 2,500. So price difference is significant, and of course you are getting better battery, better processor, more RAM, and so on. So if budget is limited, I would go with MacBook Air. If budget is limited and you have to buy something, I still will buy M1 MacBook Air with 16 GB of RAM if you can afford upgrade RAM. If not, then M1 MacBook Air with 8 GB of RAM. Of course, M1 Pro is better and M1 Max is even more better, but question is, can you afford it? If you make at least half of that money back in a month, I think that there is reason to think about it. If you make of course, salaries are different in different countries, and if you are working part-time while learning, that's another question. But if you can afford, yeah, buy latest and greatest, but M1 is still fine. Okay, no, I didn't get M1 Mini, iPad Mini. I am using still 2020 iPad Pro without M1, so that works just fine for me. Yeah, John, I kind of agree. Max lasts 5 to 6 years, but my mistake with my 2015 MacBook was that I got 8 GB of RAM configuration, so that was bottleneck. Yeah. Okay, you have that was right decision if you didn't get M1 and was waiting for this one. Of course, this is much better. AirPods third generation. Let me say, I'm using AirPods Pro, and those AirPods Pro will go to repair for third time already. I don't know, maybe that's me, but I am not doing anything extra. I don't know, I am not swimming in them or anything. They just start to make, I don't know, some bad noises and so on. They doesn't sound well. That is one thing. Another thing, I kind of do not believe that Apple can create a good quality product in AirPods. Maybe I'm unlucky, but that is my experience. And but most importantly, they are falling out from my ears, so that is not product for me. And I have first generation AirPods here as well. My wife is using those now. They are falling from my ears out if I am just declining my head. AirPods Pro stay in my ears if I am sitting still, but if I am running, those are falling out from my ears. I know those are my ears. Yeah, that is not problem of product, but sound issues. I'm having those for almost 2 years, and yep, that's problem. Yeah, yeah, that's fact. I know that there is some clause available from Apple to clean monitors. Yeah, most likely I am buying one. I'm not. I don't know yet. Yeah. Okay, and yeah, the same opinion as Gefa, how noise cancellation is not so great. I don't know. I'm using those for quite a long time, and Sony MX4s, those are way better for noise cancellation. That is not bad product. I like them. I like how they switch between devices, all that stuff. They are nice. That is not bad product. I understand that those are my ears and so on, but that hype around them feels a little bit kind of a bit too much, because noise cancellation that is not so magical. It is fine, yeah, of course, better than without it, but yep. Yeah, yeah, sound quality. Yeah, I sent those. I have to find my ticket for purchase, and I will bring those in the next in this week to repair third time. And they will be out of warranty in November. I guess I bought them in November, so probably that is my last replacement for them. Yeah, same, yeah. Sound issue, yeah. Yeah, we are getting replacement for free, but yeah, this will be my last replacement for free, and I replaced those 2 times already, yeah. M1 Pro said already, great machine for development, love it. Yeah, definitely. We have way more, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's really interesting. That's also a good point about working outside and away from home. I would better bring, if weight allows to do that, I will better bring iPad and 14-inch MacBook Pro. And I said about that, guys, in some of my videos or live streams already, do not remember, but if you have iPad as external screen and MacBook, basically you have more space and you have 2 monitors setup, and that is nicer to work. When I was on previous trip in Cyprus in this summer, I did the same. Yeah, I brought my MacBook, iPad, and I was working comfortably. 16 or 14-inch screen, the difference is not so big. Between 16 and 13 inch, I can compare. I had 16-inch MacBook Pro. I have and had before 13-inch MacBook Pro. For me personally, yeah, of course there is difference, but it is not so big. If you are not working with huge storyboards, that's just fine. If you have one more screen as iPad as one more screen, that is just perfect. And size difference is quite big. If you carry it around, it is significant. You definitely need backpack for 16-inch MacBook Pro, and it is kind of big and bulky. Half of kilo weight difference and so on. Yeah, it feels too big for flights and so on. Yeah, exactly, as John said. In train, in flight, and so on, if you are thinking about traveling, that 16-inch MacBook Pro is kind of too big. If you are working at home, again, usually we have external screen, and that doesn't matter. Do you have 16 or 14-inch screen? So I'm pretty sure I'm getting 14-inch. Only one concern what I have, that screen is kind of so good in all of those descriptions, that HDR, very bright, very good colors. I don't know, maybe I would like to use it as a main screen. What monitor I will pair with that kind of screen? So I don't know. My current 32-inch monitor, it is totally okay, but I don't know. And those Apple Pro Res, whatever, Pro HDR monitors, those are way too expensive for my budget. Those are 5,000 or 6,000. I don't even know and care how expensive they are. Yeah, exactly. Apple HDR display. That looks nice. That would be nice pair to work with those new MacBooks, but price is just that is too expensive for me. I can't how to name it, not afford, but find excuse to buy it. Yeah, it feels way too pricey. So yeah, but you know, if you compare that 15-inch MacBook Pro screen, what you currently have on it, you will have basically resolution will be higher on that 14-inch MacBook Pro. Basically, even current 16-inch MacBook Pro has less space on the screen than new 14-inch MacBook Pro. And actually, new 16-inch MacBook Pro will be bigger. Do I remember correctly? I didn't wrote down that note. Let me check. No, I didn't find. But they say it's something like it will be. Yeah, battery life is just. Battery life is just crazy. It is twice more longer battery life for video editing, 4 times longer battery life for programming. That is just crazy. There is 21 hour on battery life. Actually, it was for 16-inch MacBook Pro. They said that they added 10 hours of the battery life. That's crazy. Yeah. Yes, that's right. It will be. The 16-inch MacBook Pro will be, new 16-inch MacBook Pro will be even a little bit bigger than old 16-inch MacBook Pro. So, good point about most of us need M1 processor and so on. And I missed the joins post. Yeah, this one, 14-inch for a commute. I see myself as well getting that 14-inch because of all of that arguments. When I'm working from coffee shops, that's way more comfortable. When I'm working keeping it in my lap, way more comfortable. And I hope that sooner or later Apple will release more affordable monitor, and I'm hoping to get one as well. Yeah, so question. I think that I personally think that 32 gigabytes of RAM is more than enough for development. So yeah. And that configuration what you're saying right now, 14-inch with 32 gigabytes of RAM and additional that 1 terabyte SSD, that is just sounds like perfect ideal machine. Yeah. HomePod minis are available in Latvia. I believe that Capital is selling those. I'm almost sure. I'm not going to buy one, but Probably I'm searching right, but I believe that I saw AirPods. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that I saw this, that someone is selling those. Okay, maybe I was wrong. Headphones, tags. Okay, maybe not. Someone selling those. I definitely remember that they had those. Okay, whatever. Yes, that's true. 17 hours on 14-inch, 21 on the 16, but that is watching video, if I believe, yeah. I doubt that MagSafe port is now coming to iPad. I do not see big reason for that because there is not so, I don't know, iPad Pro, unlikely. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know, maybe in near future we will be able to ditch that gaming PC because yeah, there is more and more power in those new MacBooks, and Intel is kind of behind everywhere. Microsoft also is talking about ARM processors and all that stuff. So maybe that notch is stupid. I agree. It doesn't look great. I don't know. Maybe someday later it will feel better, but it looks kind of horrible in that. Okay, it's dark on dark, maybe that will kind of disappear and that will be fine, but it doesn't feel good for me either. Yeah. Okay, you have that AirPod Mini. That's cool. I was thinking about getting one, but I don't know. Just for speaker, I don't know. Wait, we have iPad Pro with M1. M1 Max chip. Okay, yeah, I see your point. I don't know. I don't know if it is coming, but maybe. Yeah, I totally agree. Intel is crying right now, and again, I can't compare. I can't compare because I have that i9 desktop PC right next to me, and I find myself using just that M1, and I don't really see any benefits using that. I had Hackintosh installed on that. I had Hackintosh installed on that PC, and I could use it. Only benefit and only reason why I used it was 32 gigabytes because maybe some photo editing was a little bit faster, but not sure. And multiple monitor supports when I used multiple monitors. That's it. It is way more noisy and power-wise for my tasks. For my tasks, I didn't see difference. And yeah, poor Intel, yeah. Programming, processing power, yep. And this is kind of, I don't know, I was thinking about writing that tweet today. Can we get finally that Xcode for iPad, but yeah, it is still not here, yeah. Oh, Belarus here. Hello. I don't know about this. You know, there is no reason to get that M1 Pro and M1 Max chips to the iPad. That regular M1 is already too powerful for that iPad because processor, I didn't hear anything complaining about not enough power on iPads. That is software what's holding back iPads. That is not hardware. M1 is already more than enough. You don't need so much power on iPad. I don't know when that will change. And as we saw from last WWDC, there is not so much improvements for iPadOS. I'm not sure will we see anything more in the next WWDC. Situation is about the same. We still have, there was excuse, yeah, there was the pandemic and so on, hard to work on projects, all that stuff. Situation is the same. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Yeah, and prices are actually kind of nice. Prices are staying on the same level. I remember that I bought my 16-inch Intel MacBook for about the same price like you currently can buy new 16-inch. Prices are the same. Yeah, totally agree. I expected, when I saw Notch, I expected that we will have Face ID. Nope. Yeah, iMac Pro. iMac Pro is dead for a while, I guess. But I hope that in the next hardware release we will see iMacs. If I will be strong enough and I will hold myself back and will stay with M1 MacBook Pro, then I can wait until I will see new iMacs. Because if we will get that about the same screen but in 27 or even 32 inches, that will be really great, right? And price-wise it will be also maybe a little bit more affordable than 16-inch MacBook Pro, so that will be a great machine for working at home. But I'm afraid I will not wait long enough to see that. Yeah, that will be great to have some more games, yeah. For me, the same. Windows, and I am streaming from PC now as well, but if I will upgrade my computer, that will change, yeah. Yeah, right point, yeah. iMac Pro is dead for a bit already. Yeah, for photo, all that photo video stack, that's MacOS and new M1 Pro and all that chips working just great. Yeah, so yes, they are already groundbreaking. New chips are all. I really like that slide. Where it is? Not this one. This one, yeah. This slide is just nice, and 4-core PC laptop chip is kind of looks sad on this. Interesting. 14-inch Max with 64 gigabytes of RAM. I think it will replace your iMac Pro. I don't think that because I know that there was quite a few developers who switched from I know that iMac Pro and Mac Pro not the same, but anyways, from iMac Pro switched to M1 MacBooks. I think that yes, why not? Of course, depends what you are doing, but anything Xcode, iOS development related definitely will work better. Maybe some, I don't know. I can't even say, I don't know, all those Dockers, all that stuff, maybe, but everything becomes optimized for M1 chip already, so should replace. All the video editing, music editing, if you are using Apple software, definitely will be faster. I think that for sure. Yeah, of course. Of course, new MacBooks are for real power users. Those are, therefore we have that Pro in the name. For example, my wife or my kids do not need computer like that. M1 is really powerful machine for any, I don't know, office worker and so on. Therefore, we have those M1 24-inch iMacs for all the front desks, for example, coffee shops, whatever, just name it. All those places to use. And Pro machines are for pro users. Music, video editing, programming, graphic design, whatever, just name it. 3D rendering, all that stuff. Yep. Yeah, that's a good question. 16 gigabytes of RAM, so what situations? If you're running plenty of virtual machines, for example, those simulators as well, IOS simulators, for example, you can run parallel tests on multiple devices, on multiple simulators. That will take RAM, everything will take RAM. 16, in my day-to-day tasks, I do not see that 16 gigabytes is not enough. But I don't know, in Hackintosh I had 32 gigabytes of RAM and that was a nice machine to use. Most likely I will get 32 gigabytes of RAM. It was waiting for months or few to get upgraded machine. Anyways, I will not be first. Today we will see plenty of reviews already for machines. I'm not running to get first machine as soon as possible to record video review about it. That's impossible anyways. I have to wait for a few weeks even on base configuration, so probably I will upgrade to 32 gigabytes of RAM. Yeah, that's a really good point from John Martin. iPad Pro from 2018 feels totally fine, and MacBook Pro feels like very old and unusable. I'm totally with you, John, on this, because yeah, I had very first 9.7-inch iPad Pro. It was 6 or whatever years old. I upgraded it just because I wanted to have USB-C, that keyboard. I have this 2020 iPad 13-inch, but for apps what I used, okay, Lightroom was a little bit slow working with RAW files, but usable for hobby editing, like I to edit few photos in a day. So Lightroom was a little bit slow, and basically that's it. Okay, LumaFusion for video editing, but it's not so easy to use it comparing with Final Cut Pro anyways. So all the other apps, I don't know, note-taking, writing, task management, name whatever you like, everything was working just fine, even on 6 years old iPad. So software, yeah, exactly, John. What he's saying about RAM, virtual machines, all the virtual machines, that takes a ton of RAM, yeah. Yeah, that is so. Yeah, all the Intel processors, each generation, Intel, AMD, whatever, use more power. Okay, yeah. Okay, that's some audio apps, maybe. But even if so, that Rosetta emulation works quite well. I can't name anything specific anymore, but on my initial tests, I tested M1 comparing with Intel, and of course, different apps will work differently for different users, but yeah. I saw that those, even in Rosetta emulations, those applications which I use, it can't name anything now right anymore, but those was working fine. So you will see. I'm still optimistic about replacing your MacBook Pro. That Max, that is kind of tricky. That Max is kind of not needed, but to displays versus 4, that is kind of, I don't know as well, because currently when I bought M1 I was thinking, okay, it's kind of nice to have two displays, but I can live with one as well. And it turns out that living with one is not so great as I imagined. But today I'm thinking that two displays will be enough, but then that is limited. You can't add one more. So yeah, that max also, yeah, the one more display. Don't get 8 gigabytes of RAM, please. Save on whatever you can. Save on whatever you can, but get 16 gigabytes of RAM. Yeah, MacBook Air will stay with M1 chip, and that is just fine for MacBook Air. Do not forget that that is very base machine, but do not... that machine is great. I started all my learning programming, even freelancing, all that stuff I started on MacBook Air. That works just fine for beginners. You don't need more power for kind of, let's say, beginner level projects. And do not forget that everything will work, even bigger projects will work. You will just wait longer, but if you are learning, then your time most likely is relatively cheap and you can afford to wait, and you will not save too much money if your machine will work faster. So that's the difference. Therefore we have that Pro name. Yeah, hardware acceleration. Yes, it's really nice. I think that video editors will be really happy, and I'm looking forward to get my hands on and test how that will work with Final Cut Pro. For college student, whatever your budget works, but if you are looking to choose between MacBook Air or MacBook Pro, upgrade RAM first, and then if you have money left, then looking on MacBook Pro. Okay, what else we have in chat? I guess we kind of covered that presentation. Yeah, I covered everything what I wanted to say. I am kind of happy to see that upgrade and that difference is huge between M1 and M1 Pro. I kind of posted joke in Twitter that yeah, they're milking that M1 cow first and adding just Pro and Max, and M2 will come later, but that's actually just difference in naming. Basically, difference is huge. They could name it whatever they like, MX, M2, whatever. Difference on this graph is CPU performance is huge. Really like it. Nice, thank you. Yeah, I was thinking that could be nice to jump on stream and discuss. Oh, interesting. I do not even look currently, and I will not look currently on anything on Intel or whatever. And I know that Surface laptops, there are ARM processors as well, but I don't really know can you use it properly for programming. Yeah, 2018 iPad, still perfect, totally agree. Yeah, crazy. They mentioned that as well, that video performance is really high, and Max Pro price currently is not adjustable anymore. No, I didn't get my iPhone 13 Pro. I ordered two. One was for wife, gold one with 128 gigabytes of RAM, and I ordered blue one with 256 gigabytes of RAM for myself, not RAM, memory, whatever they name it. And wife's phone arrived, played around with it, love it, will not cancel my order, will wait for it, but yeah, didn't get it not yet. M1 Pro and Max have ProRes processing backend in. Yeah. That GPU part and all that processing for and support for all those codecs, that probably will solve that problem what Rafael saw with video editing on M1 MacBook. Cool. Okay, yeah, M1 Air is for development work daily. Sure, it will be fine. And issues with 3D models. Okay, so yep. Yeah, I probably will get 14-inch MacBook Pro. Yep. I do not see anymore good reason to build Hackintosh. I built my Hackintosh back when M1 was not released yet, but I had no doubt that we will have ARM Max. But yeah, I built it just because my 16-inch was in repair twice for mainboard replacement, and I needed machine to work on. So Hackintosh was a good choice. Today, if you have to buy parts to build Hackintosh, that is waste of money. Better buy M1 Mini and you will be fine. That will be a great machine for development. If you really need Windows, Linux and MacOS is kind of nice to have, not your primary operational system, then yes, then it is, in my opinion, only reason to build Hackintosh today. Otherwise, I would say no, forget about that. Yeah, those M1 Max, those are mostly for video and all that stuff. Only reason why I would think about buying one. I kind of have excuse that I am editing videos, but I don't know. My videos are really simple. But those 4 monitors, do I need them? Probably no. Do I like to have that option? Definitely yes. Yeah, those cross-platform development tools, some Unreal Engine, what else not? Yeah, those could have problems with M1 processors still. Blockchain development, that's interesting. I know nothing about blockchain development, yeah. Yeah, M1 Max, why not? Yeah, sure. Yeah, my Hackintosh was working great as well. I just stopped to use it. I got all the upgrades from the App Store without problem. I choose it hardware kind of wisely, and everything works just fine. Upgrades, everything. But I just do not use it anymore because it's kind of a bit more loud, but there is no benefit to use it anymore with so powerful MacBook. And it is just easier. If I'm working on MacBook, I do not need to think about, is everything synchronized when I decide to grab it and move somewhere. With Hackintosh, I have to remember to commit my code changes and so on, just to be in sync. It's kind of not a big problem. I'm not saying that it's hard to do, but if you have the same performance or even faster machine without need to synchronize, so why to use Hackintosh? And even if you're comparing, for example, video rendering, you will take a look, and probably some clips maybe is a little bit, one clip maybe is a little bit faster on Hackintosh, another one on M1 maybe. But if you are looking how fast is operational system, definitely M1 is faster than that i9 Celeron Intel, not Celeron, but it is Intel, yeah, i9 Intel. If you click on icon, that application opens immediately on M1 MacBook, and you have wait a bit on Intel. And it's kind of small thing, but you get used to it, and faster is better. Hey. Yeah, Hackintosh, interesting experiment, but if you are using MacOS professionally, no reasons to do that now. Okay, music and CAD programs at the same time. Yeah, max maybe. I don't know how resource demanding they are, but I tried video rendering and Xcode builds on M1 MacBook, and that kind of works even on M1 MacBook. Yeah, Lime keyboard is really nice. Like it, really like it. And thanks to Ben, he suggested me how to switch between Windows and Mac computers using the same keyboard, and I'm back to mechanical keyboard now. I used Logitech Craft for a bit just to have that Logitech Flow functionality switching between devices. Full time of charge for the battery. Oh, there is fast charge in new Macs. Actually, I can't care less about that charging time because most of the time my Mac is connected to the power, and yeah. Oh, Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan. Hard to pronounce. I almost can, yeah. Do you think I should buy a MacBook for a high level PC for C#? Unfortunately, I don't know about C#. Most likely you are using something like Visual Studio. It works fine on both, and generally MacBook is faster than Intel, more power efficient and so on. I would prioritize MacBook. And also, if you will do something more than C#, for example, I don't know, even if you are going for cross-platform application development, that's nice to have Mac to be able to sign and release iOS apps. So I see more benefits on Mac side. I don't know how good it is for C#. Yeah. Good. Yeah, good point. There is a good point that if you are mobile web backend development, so probably, probably. Also, if you are buying desktop computers are relatively cheap. You can build a monster for cheap price if you do not need laptop. Yeah. Yeah. Notch was kind of just, yeah, we have Notch. I don't know about thinking behind that. I don't like it, but at the same time, if we have that bar on the top of the screen all the time, okay, we don't have it all the time. We have applications in full screen as well. Yeah, I don't like that Notch. Oh, release candidate. Okay. Probably I will not rush with release candidate. I do not need that on my main development machine. I will wait for a bit to get production version, but I will upgrade because I like that focus thing in, yeah. Korea. Oh, hello. That should be really late for you. Uh, who knows? Who knows? No one knows why so long. Yeah. And this one is tricky question. What will be about 16 gigabytes of RAM in next 4 or 5 years? Of course, way safer is to go with 32 gigabytes. Why? Because 16 gigabytes today is must have. And I will say so. Yeah, you can kind of survive on 8 gigabytes of RAM, but let's be realistic. In 4 years on those 16 gigabytes of RAM, you will be not able to keep more than few tabs of Chrome browser open. And I do not think, you see how demand for RAM grows all the time, and most likely that trend will stay the same. And I don't know if I will, I'm not sure yet, if I will get 16 gigabytes of RAM, then most likely I will consider that I will sell that machine in about 2 years. If I know that if I will buy a machine for 4 or 5 years, I will get 32 gigabytes of RAM. Yeah, that is about 450 euros or $400 more, but it worth that. You know what is great for base models? Because base models are quite good. Those are cheapest one. Those are not cost so much, and you are losing very little money when you are reselling those. I bought 16-inch gigabyte of RAM, 16. I bought 16-inch MacBook Pro with base configuration, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and I was kind of knowing that, bought it knowing that I will sell it relatively fast, 2 max 3 years. And by selling, I lost about 800 euros, and I used it for 1.5 years. So it's close to nothing if you divide that price for months, how much I used it. That is, I don't know how much it was, about 50 euros or 50 to 70 euros in a month. And of course I earned much more money from that MacBook Pro. So I do not think that is very bad if you are selling your machine fast, and if you're thinking that you will sell it in about 2 to 3 years, then 16 gigabyte of RAM, most likely that will be fine. If you see that today 16 gigabytes are okay for you. If you will use it for 4 to 5 years, get 32 gigabytes of RAM. A bit long, but that's my speech on this 16 to 32 gigabytes of RAM question. This small computer that is computer with mechanical keyboard, and basically that is Bluetooth speaker with some games inside, something like that, notifications, alarms. I would say toy. Yeah, and that is and this is really good opinion that we are looking again on first generation, first releases, and there are possible issues. For example, that 16-inch, current 16-inch, I had issues with overheating, as I said, twice in repair. So if you don't need machine, do not buy it. If you don't need it, so yeah, M1 Pro, M1 Max will be great choice. Yeah, there are touch bar lovers around us. I'm one of guys who do not mind to have it. Yeah, Figma and Slack. Good point about apps which are running on those Electron or whatever those apps are. Those are not native apps on Mac, and most likely you will see almost no difference. So to see faster work in Figma, I don't know. Yeah, generally machine is faster. Maybe that Figma will work faster, but I don't know. Wait for a bit, search YouTube for side-to-side tests, and you will see. If I will get one, I can test Figma for you. Yeah, I'm using Figma lately. I used Sketch before, but I switched to Figma. I paid $0 for BenQ bar light bar. It's nice. I have no idea how much it costs. They sent it to me for free to just see it on my Instagram posts. Yeah, keyboard. We'll see. I hope that is about the same keyboard but without light bar. Light bar? No, touch bar. I hope. We'll see. So I have opinion that base 16-inch. I had opinion for a while that base 16-inch and base 15-inch MacBooks has the best choice because they had 16 gigabytes of RAM built in, bigger screen, better speakers, better something, plenty of details. But currently 14-inch and 16-inch are the same. 14-inch also has 16 gigabytes of RAM. So that is question of size. Which size for screen, which size for your luggage or bag you prefer. And that is just really, yeah, of course, 16 inches bigger screen and more better for working. 14 inches more convenient to carry around. I will not buy today anything, mostly because it is not available locally yet. I will sleep on it for a few days and then I will decide. 16-inch MacBook looks really interesting as well, but biggest selling point is that screen quality, and if I will go to 16-inch, probably I will use that 16-inch screen as main screen for work. For example, I could use my 32-inch screen as secondary monitor for streams and all that stuff, and stream my 16-inch monitor and use it for work. That could be kind of, yep. Did I like Touch Bar? If yes or not, then I will say yes. I do not see really need for that function keys on the top of on top row to change size, to change brightness of the screen or sound. I can do that comfortably on Touch Bar as well, and Touch Bar brings additional functionality. So yes, I will not. What I don't like in Touch Bar, Apple developed it and kind of abandoned it, didn't do anything with it. So it was here for years and nothing happened with it. Okay, 16 gigabytes of RAM is enough running VS Code and 4 Docker containers. So, good to know. I don't have such experience, I do not use those tools, but perfectly. Great. I think that for most of developers, 16 gigabyte of RAM is enough today. If you are buying that Mac to use for few years, base configuration will be good enough. So basically what you have to decide that is screen size. I don't know. Please do not surprise it if I will get base model as well, because for my today needs that is more than enough, and that will be also interesting to test it and say for all who will ask, yeah, that works fine for that and that and that, because that definitely will be ongoing question. Is 16 gigabytes enough, and should I have 32 gigabytes? And if I will get 32 gigabytes, that will be just guessing. But if I will get 16 gigabytes, yeah, that will be interesting, yeah, to have. Hi, Yanis. Nice to see you here as well. Are you using 12-inch MacBook? Probably you'd think 13-inch. Because there was... No, probably you think 13-inch. Okay. Yeah, but even on M1 update, latest update took I don't know how many very long hours. Pooh, how many hours? Hard to say. On one of my Twitch streams, one asked me if I am working all the time, and I said no. Why do you think so? I'm starting at about 8 o'clock in the morning, then streaming until about 4, 5. Then from about 6, I have kind of family time till the evening. And sometimes I'm jumping on streams or something like that at about 10 o'clock, and then I'm working till the midnight or about 1 or 2 at the night, something like that. So I don't know. Probably more than needed. Yeah. Yeah, 16-inch. When you sit in front of 16-inch, that machine looks great. One thing that I don't like, that 16-inch, that, can you see here? Yeah, maybe, let me zoom in. This place, that place on 16-inch MacBook Pro is quite big, and I found that for me it was kind of uncomfortable to type, because, I don't know, my hands was like that on that typing zone, and 13-inch feels keyboard and touchpad feels just perfect for writing on it. I used that 16-inch for, I don't know, 1.5, almost 2 years, and was uncomfortable all the time. And I feel that my Apple Watch is scratching that metallic surface, and also I'm using bracelets, and yeah, that wasn't comfortable. 12-inch. Okay. Yeah, there was that. I even forget that name for. But that was very slow machine. Okay. It's nice, but slow, yeah. Okay. Oh, interesting. I like those opinions because, yeah, I don't have opinion about Java development, for example. 16-inch is not enough for Java. Cool. Interesting. Okay, okay. Yeah, that's really good point. Okay. See you, yeah. Okay, interesting. From Docker to Fedora server virtual machine. Ah. So, yeah, that really 16 is enough even for Windows though. Oh, okay. Yeah, there are different opinions. I'm working on iOS projects, and my iOS projects are relatively simple. I'm not working, I don't know, for Facebook or whatever. I'm working, my biggest projects have 4 iOS developers in team, and that is a relatively small project. So for me, 16 gigabytes is enough. Moving from 16-inch from a 2011 MacBook Pro. Did we had computers back in 2011? That sounds like I don't know. Yeah, that's what I feel. 13 is perfect for typing. 16-inch feels kind of too big. So, I don't know. Okay, everyone is moving away already. I am kind of feeling that it is, whoa, we already 1.5 hour in the stream. I am kind of how to go to sleep as well because I am driving my family tomorrow to the airport. So, thank you everyone for coming. That was really also interesting to hear how you are using and what is enough memory for you on computers. I didn't decide anything for 100% yet. We'll see. Yeah, going for 14 this time. Yeah. Tough decisions. Okay. Yeah, definitely in the upcoming weeks we will see plenty of review videos, hands-on videos and so on, and that will be easier to make decisions yet. And yep. Yep. Okay. Oh, Lvov. Hello, yeah. That's not so far away from me. Nice. I really like that you like the stream. Cool. Have a good night, everyone. Do not rush with buying new devices. there will be time. Wiser and better choice is to wait for reviews, see how those work on in real life situations, maybe wait for some overheating tests, battery life tests, and so on, and yeah, and then make your choice. Okay, good night everyone, see you on the next video, bye bye. Not all reviews are pied. None of my reviews are pied. Okay, I will try to get my hands on one of those machines and do my review as well. Okay, bye.